Hello, Scotland Yard's top counter-terrorism officers are on their way here tonight. Home Office figures out today will show that recorded crime events have been changed by the simple fact that Mr Arafat has now been prisoned.
That is allowing the Iraqis to take progressively...
So will we be deploying more or freezing the withdrawals? Because there is talk of about 3,000 coming home by the spring. Hello, welcome to a special edition of West Country Live from the Royal Marines training base at Lympstone. And with us for the next half hour is Tony Blair. Good evening, very warm welcome to you, Prime Minister.
Thank you.
Also with us is an invited panel of guests, all of whom have experience of or expertise in defence matters. First, though, I wonder if I can ask a word about the overnight news from Washington, the news that the Americans are going to be deploying an extra 20,000 or so troops to Iraq. I mean, what is our response? Is this wise by the Americans?
Well, given the conditions in Baghdad at the moment, I think it makes sense for them to increase the number of their forces, provided it's to back up an increasing Iraqi capability, not just in terms of their own armed forces, but also in terms of reconstruction and reconciliation and development.
But I mean, just one final point to that, then we'll move on. I mean, isn't this quite a significant change in our policy? We have, after all, been absolutely hand in hand with the Americans right from day one in this. We're now diverging from that.
No, it's really important we don't either give that impression or have that misunderstanding. The truth is the conditions in Baghdad are different from those in Basra. The reason why the Americans are having to surge forces in Baghdad is because the security condition there is completely different.
Okay. I wonder if I can ask Justin Smith, a soldier, you did two terms in Iraq and you've been discharged and you suffered post-traumatic stress disorder. Just tell us a bit about your story and what happened to you after you left.
That's right. I went to you sent me to Iraq in 2003 with, no respect, without the right kit. I had to purchase my own boots. I went out there with one pair of Desert Combats, a accommodation that's forcing me to go to work rather than concentrating on myself getting better. And I want to know what the government is going to do so this gets stopped from other people suffering the same as me.
I know there is supposed to be, and I'm sure there is, a lot of provision for people who are medically discharged.
There isn't. I've had to go to the NHS. My community psychiatric nurse has gone to the NHS to try and get funding for me to go and see a private therapist called the Red Poppy.
Tonight on West Country Live, terror in the city. Bomber strikes at the heart of Exeter.
Certainly the chap that was brought out was covered in blood. His face was covered in blood.
Good evening. Extraordinary scenes at the brand new Princess Hayes shopping mall. Police confirmed less than an hour ago that a device had been made safe. Shoppers were caught up in the chaos as the centre of the city was evacuated.
What a shock. It's not the sort of thing you expect in Exeter.
Police teams scoured shops after reports of other devices. Hello, Scotland Yard's top counter-terrorism officers are on their way here tonight after the explosion which left one man injured and in custody. It's been an afternoon like no other in Exeter as terrorism apparently struck right at the heart of the West Country. A huge emergency operation swung into action within minutes of the blast and continues this evening. Well, let's cross live now to Westminster and have a word with Exeter's MP Ben Bradshaw. Hello there. Good evening, Ben. Extraordinary events here. How closely have you been following it? How much have you been staying in touch with the police?
Well, I was alerted quite soon after the incident was first reported. I spoke personally to Stephen Otter, the Chief Constable. I've also spoken to the Prime Minister's office. This is being treated as a serious incident.
A hero's return. Ellen MacArthur is back from her record-breaking journey. Hello from Falmouth and welcome to a very special edition of West Country Live. The world's media have been here to witness the homecoming of a new hero. Thousands of people from around the region and beyond gathered to, well, applaud, to cheer and gasp in sheer amazement as Ellen MacArthur rounded the corner when her trimaran B&Q back into Falmouth 72 days since she left. Good afternoon, welcome to West Country Live. I'm Richard Bath, live from Rennes in France at the end of the Caroline Dickinson murder trial. An 8-year nightmare ends. Caroline's school pays tribute.
It is not something that we shall ever forget, and we shall always remember Caroline.
For the Dickinson family, relief that it's all over.
We will now start the process of rebuilding our lives.
Good evening and welcome to a very special edition of West Country Live. We're in Boscastle and it's barely 3 years since this tiny Cornish village was devastated by a flood of biblical proportions.
This is exactly what it was like 2004. This is horrendous.
Well, today, to local astonishment, people have been clearing up and counting the cost after it happened again. Hello, well, it is everybody's worst nightmare here in Boscastle, and last night it very nearly happened all over again. For instance, if I'd been standing here, I'd have been up to here in water, actually probably up to here in water, and long since swept away into the harbour. But don't take my word for it. Perhaps the full extent of the drama is best expressed in this exclusive footage shot by a local auxiliary Coast Guard, Anthony Williams, as he came to the scene last night.
Right, severe floods now at the top of Boscastle.
Not a huge amount of forward vision on this thing. I mean, you could take out a lot of little children and rodents and that sort of stuff.
You've got to be very careful.
What's our top speed?
About 15 miles an hour.
15 miles an hour. Good with that.
So come on, how did you learn to drive this? Do you actually have to do any tests, any of that sort of stuff?
No. But, you know, being on a rally field, you go around with other people.
You're quite good at it now, are you?
Oh. I'll leave you to be the judge of
I tell you, it is the most beautiful thing ever. This is what I've got. Oh my God, to have fun with. Oh, actually, it's the trolley race next. So Gemma and I are going to get trolleyed. Having your own trolley race. We're going to have our own trolley race. In fact, she's going to get trolleyed. Come on,
That's right. I'm not getting in there. But we are with each other. I'm not getting in the trolley. Richard, get me out of the trolley. Help me!
Home Office figures out today will show that recorded crime, including violent offences, is falling. How do you think the atmosphere has been changed, or indeed events have been changed by the simple fact that Mr Arafat has now been present on Palestinian soil? You're with a West Country News special on the foot and mouth crisis.